Hello everybody and welcome back. So today, continuing on our theme from last week, we're going to keep looking at these tight hamstrings. So a lot of us have incredibly tight hamstrings, which is only made worse by our start-stop sports like football and hurling, and also by doing things like running, doing an awful lot of walking. We're going to have a wee test first of all. We're going to see how flexible the hamstrings are. So stand with your feet hip width apart, stand up nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders, and breathe in to take a nice deep breath and lengthen through the spine. As you breathe out, tuck your chin in towards your chest. We're going to C-curve the spine, so pulling the belly up as we roll ourselves forward, coming down to wherever is comfortable for you. So this might be down to the toes, this might be halfway down the shins, it could be the knees. We're just going to simply see where we can get to. So we'll try that again. We'll tuck the chin in towards the chest and roll ourselves down. Once you're down there, just hold it there, pushing the hips up nice and high. And then on your next out breath, roll yourself back up, back into a standing position. So that's how we're going to come down onto the mat to start off with. We're going to stand to the back of the mat and we're going to roll down. So the only things that you might need for your class today are a yoga block, and you can use a book or something instead if you don't have one of these, and a TheraBand, which most of us, if we have been sports massage therapists or physios, all have one of these lying about the house. Again, if you don't have this, you can always use a belt, a tie, a yoga strap, something like that. So coming back onto our the back of the mat, and we'll simply roll down. So stand up nice and tall, tuck the chin in towards the chest, scoop the belly up as you roll yourself forwards, coming down to wherever you're comfortable, and then bend the knees so that you can take your fingers to the floor. We're going to simply walk our hands forward, walking them forward until we're in that nice down stretch or upside down V. Dropping the head in between the arms, push the heels back to the floor, and then come up onto the toes. We'll do that a few times, pushing the heels down, back up onto the toes. And then we can just paddle the feet by bending one knee as we drop the other down. If you want to put more of a stretch on, just lift this foot up, the one that the knee's bent on, and then to the other side. So we'll simply either keeping the toe to the ground or lifting it off for a deeper stretch, a wee bit more pressure, and keeping the hips nice and high. Then coming back, hips high, both heels down towards the ground, slide the hands forward slightly and roll yourself forward into your plank pose. So once you get into your plank pose, just get yourself into that nice comfortable position, and we'll push the heels back. So really thinking about stretching out the calves as well as the hamstrings. We're just pushing the heels away from you as if you're pushing them towards the back wall, and keeping the core engaged. Drop one knee down and then the other. From here, stretch one leg back, and simply as we were doing in plank pose, we're going to rock back and forth. And then on the other side. And taking the knee in, we're going to take the big toes together, the knees nice and wide. This is where the yoga block can come in handy if you wish. Wasn't my initial intention for today. And we're going to push the bottom back onto the heels, drop the head down. As I said, if this is maybe where, if the head doesn't come down, you can simply rest the head on the block, stretch the hands out, push the heels, or the hips back to the heels, and keep yourself nice and straight. Nice and steady. Take a few nice long slow deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Expanding that rib cage as you breathe in and out again. And coming back up, we're going to take ourselves into a seated position to begin with. And again, I'll just turn around to face the camera. We're going to take the feet about mat width apart, so a wee bit further than hip width, and sit up tall. Here you want to make sure that you're sitting on your sit bones, so sometimes it's good to just move the fleshy bit of the bum away so you can feel your sit bones into the ground, and you know you've got a nice straight spine. We're going to take the arms out at shoulder level as if you're holding on to a big beach ball. Breathe in, lift the crown of the head up. Breathe out, tuck your chin towards your chest, and again with that C-curve movement, roll yourself forward. Breathe in and hold, and breathe out to roll back up again. So what we don't want to do is come down, touch the toes, or again, push yourselves into too much of a stretch. We're simply tucking the chin in and rolling forward, keeping the arms up at shoulder level. And then come back up again. So I just turn around to do this. Next ones, we're going to roll ourselves back this time onto the mat. When you're ready, sitting up nice and tall again, on your sit bones, arms up, scoop the belly in as you roll yourself back, slowly, slowly, slowly back down onto the mat. Here we're going to get ourselves into that comfortable position. So again, feet in nice and close, and hips and pelvis straight. So these two bony bits of your hips should stay equidistant when we're doing most of these exercises, or at least try to keep them like that. And we begin by using the yoga block, which I have left behind. And all we want to do is pull the knee in towards the chest. Then grab behind the thigh and straighten the leg. So the leg might not get up straight. You might have the knee bent, you might have the leg here, wherever you're comfortable. And with that hand on the back of the thigh, not the back of the knee, I'm going to point and flex the foot. So when you're flexing the foot as if you're pushing the heel up towards the ceiling, and then point the toe. Again, this gives a good stretch to the calf muscle as well as the back of the leg. And just for completeness sake, we do wee circles with the toes in one direction, and then circles with the toes in the other direction. So this is the only time then that you'll need your yoga block, brick, or your book. And what we're going to do is push it, or bring it behind the thigh. So it's a wee oppositional force technique that helps to stretch out the leg. Hold on to the block and push your thigh into the block as you pull the block towards you. And then when you release, the leg should come back a wee bit further. So we don't want the hip coming off the ground. We want to keep the hips on the ground, and we'll try that 3 times. So push, 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 just pushing the leg into the block. And then release and just let the block push you a bit further. And we'll do that once more. Push, 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 push. And release. And then again, we'll just pull the knee in towards the chest and drop the foot down to the ground. On the other side then. Bring the knee in, grab in front of the shin, pull the leg in, and then take your hands behind your thigh, stretching the leg up, keeping both hips on the floor, relaxing the shoulders. We'll simply point the toe and then flex the foot, pushing the heel up towards the ceiling, pointing the toe and flexing. And then again, for completeness sake, we're going to circle the toes in one direction, getting movement into the ankle, and the other direction. And then grab hold of our block again. We're going to use oppositional force to pull the leg in as we press away with the thigh. Push, 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 and release. And again, just get into the right position. Push, 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 and release. And again. Push, 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 and release. Pulling the knee in then. And dropping the feet back to the floor. So again, using our TheraBand this time, stretching down together, we're going to take that right leg again. And this time, taking it around the ball of the foot. So make sure first of all that it doesn't roll up and that it's around the ball of the foot so that we're not causing any pain to the foot when we're doing this. Hips should be equidistant from the floor. I'm going to take hold of either side of the band with each hand, elbows to the floor and nice and close. Let yourself relax, open up through the chest, and you can either keep your foot on the floor with the knee bent or make it slightly harder by stretching the leg out, getting more of a stretch through the hip flexors on that side. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to keep my leg bent and with the hands either side, making sure that the hips are pressing into the floor. We're not lifting our hips up. Drop the leg down and slowly lift it back up again. Breathe out as you let the leg come down and back up. So again, working our core muscles as well as getting a nice stretch through the hamstrings at the top. And if you wish to put a wee bit more tension on the band, that's fine. Just bring the hands up a wee bit on the band and a bit more tension. Making sure that you get good stretch at the top. And then we'll take the band into the right hand. Take the left hand and you can bring it out to the side. And we'll drop the right leg out and bring it back in. This is where it's important to make sure that we're keeping the hips equidistant and straight, so you can take your left hand onto the bony bit of your left hip to make sure that you're not rolling over. And then again, we'll swap hands, take it into the left side, and this time going across and back up. Crossing over the leg and back. You can straighten the leg out a bit more to get more of a stretch if you have the knee bent there. And we'll try and go for about 6 of these. Coming up then, we'll simply take the band back into both hands and swap feet. So taking the left foot up again, making sure that the band isn't rumpled up or going to cause any pain to the foot. As much tension onto the band as you wish as you drop the leg down and bring it back up, stretching through the hamstrings at the top. We want to make sure that we're doing this with control, not just flinging the legs up and down. And that we are working within our own range of movement. So you may not be able to get the leg completely straight. You may not be able to get it up as far. And you will find that it's very different on one side to the other. Particularly if you do sport that involves you using one side more than the other, where you tend to kick a football with one side and then holding the band in the left hand, we will drop the left leg out to the side and bring it back in. So here the wall's causing me a wee bit of an issue, and I'm not able to get my leg out just quite as far, but it's nearly at my limit anyway. And then we'll swap hands and drop it down to the other side. Again, if you want to keep your hand on your pelvis, to make sure that you're not rocking it from side to side. And coming back up straight. This time I'm going to take both feet into the back and give ourselves a good stretch. Push nails up towards the floor, toes back towards the nose, and as much of length through the hamstrings and the back of the calves as you can. Pulling the knees in towards the chest then. We can get rid of that band. We're going to come into a nice wee stretch, taking the knees out as wide or slightly wider than the torso. Grab hold of the shins, pull your knees back towards your shoulders. If you wish at this stage, you can reach down and grab hold of the outside edges of the feet and take the feet off. This is known as happy baby pose in yoga, and it's a really nice stretch. We can also rock ourselves from side to side, giving yourself a wee bit of a back massage. And then take the knees down, cross over at the ankles, and again, grabbing the outside edges of the feet. Rock yourself from side to side, stretching out that, or smoothing out the back, I should say. And from here, just hands in front of the shins, rock yourself back up into your seated position so you can come back over on to your knees. Making sure you're getting back into the middle of the mat again. Take yourself back onto your knees. As we done before, firming up through the core muscles, stretch one leg back, rock back and forward on the toes. And on the other side. And then we take ourselves up into plank position, neck in line with the rest of the spine. Push yourself into your wee down dog stretch that you were doing before. Pedaling out the feet. And lifting the hips up really high. Start to walk the hands and the feet together. Scooping through the belly as you roll yourself back up. Head coming up last. And coming back into our nice standing position. We should feel the legs a wee bit more flexible at this point. And we will do our wee test again to finish off. So standing in this position, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Walk the hands down. Coming down. Bringing them down to wherever they're comfortable. Dropping the head down. Push the hip bones up high in the air. You should bit further now after them stretches, and that's us finished. So there are a few very easy stretches, Pilates stretches that we can do for our hamstrings. Again, as with everything, you want to work with your own body, work within your own range of movement, and remember that there is a big difference between a stretch and a strain. Thank you all very much, and I will see you all in the next video.